There's a moment in your life when you realize that saying yes all the time, even when your heart is screaming no, is slowly destroying you. But you're that nice person. You're always showing up for people. You always, putting in the work, putting in the effort, always there, Even when your heart is saying no, trust me, there's a quiet kind of heartbreak that comes from it.
Say what?
That used to be me until I learned how to say no. What's going on, Tuna gang, gang, gang? It's your girl Ricky Tuna, and I'm back at it again with another topic. And today, who's ready for this tea? Who's ready? You know what? Let's just get right into it. So, I used to feel that being available 2/7, meant you're a good person. I used to feel always showing up, always being nice, always being, accepting that invite, always turning up, meant you're a good person. And let me tell you this, that's how you lose yourself in the process. Trust me. You're the type that is always, being available, always trying to be the reliable friend, always trying to, turn up. That's how you slowly lose yourself. Trust me. I used to be there. Like, I used to be that girl, always showing up, always like trying to be available, always people pleasing people. Like, even though it made me uncomfortable, I would just like, please people just so they can see me like, oh my God, she's so nice, and she's always coming through. But trust me, that's how you get used. That's how you get used in the process. To be honest, right, I was taught to be reliable, always available, be my brother's and my sister keeper and everything and all that, right? But trust me, that's how you lose yourself. Do you understand? When people find out that you're the person that's always giving, always showing up, they get used to it and they take it for granted, They take it for granted. I feel the world we live in, right? They respect people that they can't easily control. People that they can't easily manipulate. People that can't be used easily. I feel that's how the world operates right now. And if you are too soft, if you always say yes, trust me, you will end up being hot. You will end up not only being hot, you'll be emotionally drained. You will lose yourself in the process. That used to be me. There's this time someone kept like asking me for things, asking me for favor. I'm this reliable friend, reliable person that's always turning up. I don't say no, and that's why they kept, coming. I was trying to be reliable, and I didn't want to like disappoint. You understand? So I was always turning up. Even though I was like going through my own stress, right? I didn't stop saying no, and guess what? They never noticed that I was struggling. They never noticed. Do you understand? Like, I was saying yes to people and saying no to myself. Even though you're just being kind, and that's who you are. That's who you are, right? You're just trying to be nice and kind, right? But trust me, I don't even know why kept saying this. Trust me, it's this topic, like this topic. I had to I said someone needs to address this. Someone needs to say this, because if someone don't come out and keep say this, I feel more people will fall victim of even family drain you. Even relationships. There's some relationship that you enter, they drain you. Like I was making others comfortable and making myself uncomfortable. People that wouldn't do the same for me if the tables were to turn. The users we're talking about, they only want to take from you. They only want to take from you. They don't want to pour into you. You keep pouring into people that don't pour into you. Or if you're the type that you're in a relationship and you're the type that you love gifting. You're naturally a giver. You don't like when you always gift. During birthdays, you always come through for them during birthdays and everything. Then when it gets to yours, they don't do anything for you. They don't show up. They don't match the energy. You will seem like a fool, right? You're like they won't match the energy. Even if they do, they give you the bare minimum. Like crumbs. Like, girl, you deserve better. Trust me, you deserve better. And the moment you start saying no, everything will just align and everything will just change. You will see a whole different vibe. The moment you stop moving with those kind of people and start choosing yourself, everything just start working. Trust me. There's this one time I was like very, very sick, and like I woke up and I found out that I couldn't stand up very well from the bed. Like that's when I knew that, oh my god, I really needed to get to the clinic or get to the hospital. Like I didn't even know how God helped me that day. I was able to like get to the clinic safely. When I got there, I was waiting for the doctor to examine me, to check me, right? So when the doctor finally called me into his office, like he checked my eyes, he saw me, he felt, do you know what he said? He said, you look like so drained, you look so tired, and what's happening? He checked my eyes, then he noticed my eyes were like white. Then he said, we're gonna from the look of things, he thinks I don't have blood, that he's gonna run a test. So they quickly did a test, and when we were waiting for the results, like I don't know, I just collapsed, like I fainted. So at that point, like I didn't know what was going on because I fainted until I woke up and found myself like lying on the hospital bed, and by my side I saw the nurse, and she was like fixing drip on my body, right? Then when I woke up, I asked her what happened, like what's happening. Then she said when the doctor was checking on me, I fainted, and so they brought me to the bed because I was really, really weak, that I should just relax, and that she's going to call the doctor. So when the doctor came, by the way, I just want to say shout out to my doctor. He's watching this video right now. He will be watching this video. So yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for everything you do, and I don't take everything you do for me for granted. Okay, so let's get it right into it. So the doctor came in and he said, from the look of things, he's not going to let me go. He's going to keep me at the clinic so he can examine me very well, because if I was very weak, do you understand? He said he was going to keep me at the clinic for proper examination, because he said my blood level was very, very low, like below 10%. That was how dangerously low it was, and he didn't want to let me go home like that. And I was really weak, so they were giving me glucose as well. So he said I should relax. You know what he said next? He said, from the look of things, you're going to be spending a night here or two nights. So if you have anyone that you can call that can come, spend a night with you or stay here with you, it will be nice. And that moment when he said that, I was quiet, and that got me thinking that I was truly alone. Like I was always trying to show up for people, and when I was down, no one came through for me. Especially when you're the type that your family, like you stay very, very far from your family, and like my family is in Africa. I'm in a different continent where, like, we're worlds apart, and that became my wake up moment. That became my wake up call. I just said, you know what, this is a sign from God to start putting myself first, like start making myself comfortable, start showing up for myself more, and stop letting people get in my way. I stopped letting people, stop showing up for people who wouldn't do the same for me, people who don't value me, people who are just there to use me or just there to drain me. I read one quote that said, you don't have to set yourself on fire just to keep others warm. If you always pour into people, doing things for people, and they don't do the same for you, this is your sign to take a step back. You need to retrace a step and think, because God forbid, what if something bad happened to me? Those people that I always turn up for, show up for, they wouldn't be, they didn't come true for me. So that became my wake up moment. That's when I realized that, I was always like the one pouring into people that don't pour into cups, that don't pour into my, life is too short to be around people that don't value you, or treat you well. Life is too short. You just have to, like, retrace your step and start showing for yourself more. And the moment you start setting boundaries, trust me, that's the moment you start healing. Like, when you start setting boundaries, that's a form of self-respect. Do you understand? You're not being selfish for saying no. You're just trying to survive in a world that you live in. You're just trying to survive. You understand? It's self-respect. There's a quote I read about boundaries, right? Oprah Winfrey said, "Every yes you give without alignment is like a withdrawal from your energy bank. And if you don't check the balance, life will do it for you." Trina Troy, where is the lie? No, tell me, where is the lie there? Where is the lie? That was the day I started saying no to people without feeling guilty. You can't guilt trip me anymore. So right now, right, I'm not like, I don't just say yes to every hangout, every request just to please you, My schedules, my boundaries, my peace is non-negotiable. You can't guilt trip me anymore for me, like, saying no. What if that outing, maybe if someone called you and be like, "Oh girl, what's up? Let's go out. Let's hang out today." And your mind, you don't want to, like, go out for that day, or you don't want to go to the location or the place where they're asking you to go to. But because you want to please people, you will say yes. You don't know if God is trying to save you from something. You don't know, God forbid, you go out that day, you might not come back alive. You know what? I think I should share this story with you. It's deep and it's my story, but I feel I should say it. It resonates with this topic. Do you know? Because I used to be a people pleaser. Do you understand? This story is really, really funny, but let me just say it. And it's like one of the biggest lessons of my life. And there was this time back then in school in Africa, in Nigeria, right? Because I studied there. And there's this friends that I normally have, that I hang out with back then, because like I said before, I used to move out with people that didn't really align with my purpose. So, and I used to be the yes girl. I used to say yes to every hangout. So there's this my friend back then. She came to me, she was like, Trina, what's up? Like, there's this after party that they're doing, because that period the seniors were people in final year, they were like graduating, like FIB final year graduation party. So he said she has this guy friend that that is hosting a big party off campus. The party is gonna be like the talk of the town. The party is really, really big, and it's a graduation party, of course, and it was Friday. I said, you know what, I'm going. I said yes, even though like I didn't want to, right? You understand? So we're just like still talking, and there's this particular girl that always comes to the hostel, right? Sharing flyer, inviting people to our church programs and everything. So she walked in, she came into us, she was like, "Hello girls, how are you doing?" That she wants to invite us for this church program that will be happening that night, because it was Friday, right? It was Friday night, and you know how Friday night is on campus, right? So when she came to us, one of my friends were like kind of grumbling back then. Actually, I'm a Christian, right? I grew up from a very, very devoted Christian family, Christian home. But when I got to school, I kind of left that spot, like I started moving with the wrong crowds, and those people started like influencing me in the negative way. So yeah, so I'm not perfect, right? I'm still trying to grow. So this girl, she wouldn't want her to feel like we're not coming, because if we didn't like chase her away, she would still keep on preaching and talking to us, right? So we just said, okay, you know what, we're going to show up. So she was still trying to convince us that we shouldn't worry if it's the transport, that the school is going to cover up the transportation. We're going to use the school shuttle bus to go to the church program. They're going to pay for everybody that lives in the hostel. Said, okay, no problem. So when she left, me and my friend, we started going about how we're going to turn up, everything is going to. So to cut the story short, then we got to this party. We go to this party, like everywhere was lit. There was a DJ. You know how off campus was. Everybody, like, there was drink, there was food. We were like, oh, now that's what we're talking about. This is how a Friday evening is supposed to look like. You know, we were happy. We were, everywhere was lit. You need to see the place there. And, it was really, really nice. And we're how hyping ourselves. Oh my God, yeah, we're making video doing, So all of a sudden, as we're talking, we're having, the DJ was like DJing, everything was like working well, and we're really happy, At the time, at a point, we were just hearing arguments, like at the back of us, like we're like hearing arguments and everything, right? So, but it was like, maybe there are those people, some people, when they go to parties and they're drunk, they start, misbehaving, shouting and arguing and everything, right? So we're thinking that was the problem. So, there's one person that was telling the DJ to turn the music down, We're like, why would maybe the person is just trying to say, okay, the music is too loud or something. We ignored it. We didn't, like, we're still having fun, It was a party. It was a Friday night. What do you expect? Like, we're just on. So the more the person said, can you reduce the beat? Like, turn the music down a little. The DJ was still DJing, was still playing music. The DJ didn't stop the music. The DJ was like still playing, was still vibing, we were still shouting. Then all of a sudden we heard a gunshot. Like, at first we didn't know it. We were thinking, okay, maybe the DJ, the DJ mix, those that mix up or whatever they do, right? So we're thinking that was the case. And it was when we heard the second gunshot, that's when we thought, oh my God, this is a gun. Everybody was just, everybody was just running for their lives.
Why are you running?
I didn't even know how me and my friend got there alive safely. God really, anytime I look back at my story, I just like, God has really, really helped me. Do you understand? We didn't know the person, the person graduating was like was into all this mafia stuff, gang stuff. In Nigeria, they call it, like, in Africa, they call it like courtesan. Like, I didn't know how me and my friends like left there alive and got back to our hostel alive. That was when I realized that girl that came to us earlier that day to preach to us, to invite us to our church program, it was God using that girl. So we wouldn't go for that party, but we have coconut head back then. We didn't go for our church program, and we went to the party. Okay, God forbid, what if we died that day? What if we died that day? What would happen? What will happen? Our parents sent us to school to learn and everything, right? And we decided that it's party, it's time. What would have happened? That's why I always say, whenever you have this, like, something is telling you not to go out, and when people are pressuring you go out, don't go. You don't know if God is trying to warn you from something, you don't have to say yes to every hangout, every outing. You don't have to say yes, You need to set boundaries. Do you understand? Boundaries, like I said before, they are a form of self-respect. Do you understand? In Matthew 5 verse 37, right? God said, all you need is simply yes or no. Everything or anything other than that is from the devil. Even Jesus Christ encouraged boundaries. Do you understand? He encouraged boundaries. So we need to learn it. I know it's not going to be easy, right? How I learned to say no, the first thing I did was I started asking God, please help me take away anything or anybody that's in my life that is using me. I was asking God, praying about it. And I wrote down the names of people that were like really using, like people that were like, I felt they were draining me, emotionally, using me and all that, right? Then I asked God to give me the right people. And that moment you say, what, you start saying no, you start putting yourself first. People will be like, girl, she changed. No, darling, I didn't change. I'm still me. This is me. I'm Ricky Trina. I didn't change. It's just that I stopped being used. I stopped allowing you to drain me. I stopped allowing you to use me the way you want and trample on me the way you want. Do you understand? You need to stand up for yourself. The world we live in, like I said earlier, they love tough people. If you're too soft, oh my God, they're going to stamp on you. You need to learn. I'm not here to bash anyone or judge anyone. I've been there. So I'm just trying to tell you not to fall victim or be in that kind of situation anymore. Right now, I don't shrink myself to make others feel comfortable when I'm not comfortable. I say no with grace, and that's enough. I say it with confidence, and that's enough. Do you understand? That moment you start choosing yourself, and that moment you start saying no, guess what? Those people that always like that always come to you, to take from you, those fake check-ins just to say, hey girl, I just want to then all of a sudden they start asking, taking from you, they will disappear. And you know what? Like, I'm fine with it. Like, I'm okay with that. Do you understand? What I experienced, what changed after I started saying no, right? I felt lighter, like less anxiety. I felt like I have more energy to do the things that I want to do. I focus more on my goals and my healing. Do you understand? I'm no longer manipulated. Like, I no longer feel manipulated. I no longer feel used, Like, when you start choosing yourself and saying yes to yourself, you have more energy to focus on your own goals. That energy that you always channel into friendships, right? I don't know why I'm feeling this emotional. Oh my God. Ricky, you can do this. Come on. You can say this. It's okay. That moment you start putting yourself first and you say, you know what? I'm done. I'm done being a people pleaser. That's the moment you start healing. If you channel that energy you put into friendship, put into people that don't value you, you see, and put it and focus it on your channel that same energy into your business, you will see how you grow. Trust me. So I have this peace inside of me, like knowing that I'm prioritizing myself over everyone else. Do you understand? I don't care if people don't like me. Like, I don't care if me saying no makes me only have one friend. Right now, quality over quantity. Do you understand? My peace is more important to me than me being liked. My peace is my priority right now. Do you understand? People pleasing, like when I used to be a people pleaser, I was putting myself on the line and making others comfortable, right? People pleasing is very, very expensive. And to be honest with you, I'm done paying with my peace. I cannot pay with my peace anymore. It's too expensive, and I can't pay that price of using my peace to pay anymore. Do you understand? So if you're watching this video right now and you still find it, or you're still struggling to say no to people, do you understand? You need to start learning it. Especially, I understand, especially when you're not that person, you're the kind of person that's always be a reliable person. You're just trying to be, you're just nice naturally. You're naturally a giver. You're always there, I don't blame you. I've been there, right? You need to learn. You need to start learning it, right? One of the things I like how I started learning it, right? Before I say yes to someone right now, right? I think about it. Like, I pause, I pause and I use phrases like, let me get back to you, let me think about it. I don't just let someone rush me into making a decision that I'm going to regret. You understand? If you're giving, I'm not saying don't give. If you're giving, if you're helping, if you're being supportive, do it from your heart. Don't feel pressured while you're doing it. You understand? Take your time. When you start setting boundaries, you need to stop explaining. Stop explaining too much. You're giving people the validation. When someone comes to you, hey babe girl, what's up? Let's go out. And you're not feeling good, tell them, no, I'm not feeling good today. I don't want to go out. You are protecting your peace. And you protecting your peace is not a crime. You need to start choosing you. Stop being too available and stop being a people pleaser. And trust me, the moment you start setting that boundaries, right? You see, everything works for you. It will work. In fact, everything will start working for you. And especially when you channel that same energy into your business or into whatever you're doing, everything will work. The real people that loves you, they will stay when you start setting boundaries. But the people that were only there to use you, when you start setting boundaries, they will disappear. And funny enough, we don't care.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
We don't care. Like, when you start setting your boundaries and you find out that, oh my God, you are losing people. Those people you're losing, they were not truly your friend. They were just like enemy in sheep clothing. They were just disguising, and they were just like users. You don't even need to worry yourself. You don't even need to be bothered, because that's how God is already working. God is already answering your prayers. When you ask him, you know what, God, please send the right people to my way and disconnect me from every wrong person that's using me. God is already answering your prayers. So you don't have to feel bad. You know, in fact, that period, that moment, you need to dance, rejoice. You need to start living your life to the fullest. Trust me. God. So I want you to see this video as a sign, as a wake-up call. You know, you need to start showing up for yourself. And if this video resonates with you, if you find this video like helpful, I want you to like, comment on this video, and share this post. And also, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on that bell notification, because I'll be back again and I'll be dropping it. I'll be dropping more video, like dropping it like it's hot, you know. I'll be giving you guys hot, you know. So I'll appreciate you guys to like subscribe and, you know, support my channel, and I will be grateful. And I hope to see you guys in my next video, and I love you. Always stay praying, okay? Pretty girls always pray, okay? Put God first in everything. So see you guys in my next video. Bye.